Everyone, welcome to the show. I have an update to share about one of Trump's Capitol insurrectionists. It's time for an episode of Where Are They Now?
Ryan Bledsoe was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
So 22-year-old Delaware resident Hunter Seefried was infamously seen standing next to his Confederate flag-carrying father. His father is Kevin Seefried. Seefried and his father were actually two of the first people to enter the building. They were standing nearby watching as a member of the Proud Boys used a stolen riot shield to break that first Capitol window. And then Seefried stepped up and he used his gloved fist to clear the remaining pieces of glass so that people could enter. So Seefried jumped up on the windowsill and he was met with an officer who was pointing a can of pepper spray at him. However, he was undeterred. He just jumped into the building anyway. Then a short time later, Seefried and others were captured on video chasing Officer Eugene Goodman up the interior stairs. So as you all know by now, the officer led them to a waiting line of police officers, and Seefried is said to have tried to intimidate the officers. He was pacing back and forth. He had clenched fists. They said he had a threatening demeanor, and then he, along with others, refused to leave, and the officers were repeatedly ordering them to do so. In fact, Officer Goodman testified that he directly told Seefried, quote, "You need to get out now." And Seefried replied, "No." Another officer testified that Seefried was exhibiting aggressive nonverbal actions with the clenching of his fists, tightening of his muscles, and, quote, thousand-yard stare. And this group was really egging each other on. They were making comments like, "We're ready to take down this building. We're ready to take over. We're ready for war." And Seefried was captured on video advancing toward the officers as they were backing up, and he was waving his arms around. And in fact, prosecutors say as this standoff progressed, Seefried repeatedly kept returning to the front of the police line over the course of 20 minutes. So he was staring them down. He appeared to be challenging them in various ways. And then on January 11th, Seefried and his father turned themselves in. They saw photos of themselves posted by the FBI. They admitted to entering the Capitol, and he said that he was wrong to have done so, but he flat out denied seeing anyone break a window at the Capitol. So Seefried was indicted on a superseding indictment in April 27th of last year, and he was charged with obstructing an official proceeding, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, parading in a Capitol, 2 counts of physical violence, and destruction of government property in excess of $1,000. Following Seefried's arrest, he told the FBI agents that he knew he posed a threat to officers. He said, quote, "I was the threat coming in the goddamn window. I mean, if I did get hurt, I couldn't blame the guy." And as with his father, Seefried refused a plea deal. So instead, they opted for a bench trial. I probably would too, because they had Trump-appointed Judge Trevor McFadden. McFadden found both of them guilty, though, of obstructing an official proceeding, entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading. He acquitted Hunter, though, on 3 of the other misdemeanor charges. So Seefried was facing up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of probation, and $250,000 in fines. Although, as you guys likely know, sentencing guidelines are always much lower, and the prosecutor asked for a sentence of only 64 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and $2,000 in restitution. At the sentencing hearing, Seefried said, quote, "I offer my sincerest apology to the country, its school children, and everyone who saw the worst of me and everyone on January 6th. Don't know what school children have to do with it, but Seefried also apologized to the courts, to the government, and his parents, and he said, quote, "I pray our country can recover." And I will give him credit for this part. When the judge asked him why he didn't remain back in the crowd, apparently his mother and his girlfriend were there, he said, quote, "The crowd, the energy was just overwhelming. It's no excuse. I would say my father, but I'm old enough to know. So at least he admitted that. Judge McFadden told Seefried that he and his father took part in a, quote, national embarrassment, and that the mob injured officers and damaged a, quote, sacred building. And he said that chasing Officer Goodman was, quote, humiliating and degrading to everyone who believes in law and order. However, the judge also acknowledged Seefried's age as a factor, and he said, quote, I believe you are a good man who messed up badly, but I believe you recognize you messed up, and that is also a part of criminal justice. In the end, Judge McFadden sentenced Seefried to only 2 years in prison, 1 year of probation, and the $2,000 restitution fee. Now, compared to most other judges, given this set of circumstances, that the fact that he went to trial instead of taking a plea, the fact that he was found guilty on obstructing an official proceeding, McFadden absolutely let him off easy. But I was shocked to see that he gave him even this much time behind bars. That's how bad this judge is. If you've been following my updates, you guys know McFadden has been one of the biggest January 6th apologists who rarely gives more than a slap on the wrist. So considering who the judge was, this is the best we could hope for. I'm just being honest with you guys. It's pathetic, but yeah, this is more than I would hope for from McFadden. Anyway, at least he will be on probation. He will not be totally in the free and clear by the time the 2024 election rolls around. So we'll see. But with a father carrying a Confederate flag, I have no hope for this guy. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.